Hello, my name is Laurynn and I'm a second year social work major here at the University of Georgia. I live in Vandiver Hall and this is my room. I'm really happy with it. My favorite colors are the blush coral spectrum, so I definitely wanted to incorporate that into my room. I also really like a lot of texture and kind of boho print, so I wanted to incorporate that, which is mainly found on my bed. The inspiration for this room definitely came from the sunset, the purples, blues that you see in the posters, and some of the pinks, yellows, and oranges that are found in the room come from that. My favorite part of the room would definitely have to be my bed, but the desk area is definitely a close second. There, I have a lot of my anime figurines and memorabilia that I brought from home and have been a part of my collection for years now. I also really like the fact that I incorporated a lot of lights into my room. I'm not really one to have on the overhead light. I feel like it's too straining on my eyes. So the fairy lights across the room were very helpful. The hardest part about the room actually was putting up the lights because we had to figure out a way to put them up without damaging the walls. So it was a combination of like push pins and command strips. Command strips really became my best friend with this room as I used them to hang most of my artwork pieces as well. My room definitely is my safe space. I work a lot. I have 2 jobs while being a full-time student taking 16 credit hours, so having some place to come back home and just rest and recuperate really means a lot to me, and I am so happy with the way that this space turned out. Thank you guys for taking a tour of my room, and I hope you guys have a great night.
Hi, I'm Katie.
And I'm Addison.
Welcome to our dorm. We are both freshmen living in Building 1516. We used a lot of decorations that we already had to avoid spending too much money in our room.
I brought a pillow made from one of my grandfather's t-shirts. He was an alumni at UGA and the first to attend college out of his family. The pillow makes me feel like he is here with me and reminds me to excel in my studies.
We both really wanted our dorm to feel like home. Our personal touches to every part of the room really helped with that. I like to describe my side of the room as what the inside of my brain looks like. I added a lot of subtle details that mean a lot to me. For instance, I found a poster of a ticket from the opening day of Epcot Center on Etsy. I'm a huge nerd for all things theme park design, so of course I had to add my collection of park maps to the walls. I absolutely love the way I laid out my desk. I really like that it has a lot of surface area for me to spread out my papers on. Another thing that is really personal to me is my collection of pictures. I printed out over 100 pictures at Walgreens before I left Virginia. Since I can't visit home very often, I wanted to feel surrounded by my family and friends back home to help with homesickness.
Katie and I have 2 contrasting aesthetics, so we tried as hard as we could to make our rooms cohesive while staying true to our personal styles. My style is darker, while Katie's style is more colorful. My side is very true to my personal style. While I love dark colors, I'm also a huge fan of cute things, like my Squishmallows. Halloween is one of my favorite holidays, and I like a little bit of spooky things like my pillow and my blanket. Hanging on my wardrobe are posters of Star Wars and Captain America. I also have paintings up of paintings I did in the beginning of quarantine of just classic me. Overall, I love how 2 different sides of me came together to make my side of the room and make it feel like home to me.
Hey everyone, this is Greyson and Hayes, and we are freshmen lucky enough to live in Brumby Hall. Welcome to our room. One goal we had when planning the room was to make it feel more like a home than a dorm room.
To do that, we hung up paintings and watercolor butterflies that Greyson painted around the room.
We have plants and flower vases all over the room too. For the overall theme of the room, we wanted it to look eclectic with pops of color.
A lot of the color we have is included in our pillows, in the paintings, and in the decorations we have on our shelves.
It was also important that we create a functional space with room to study, watch TV, or even have friends over. By pushing our desks against the window, we created the perfect space that floods with natural light, which is perfect for studying or even for getting ready. The best part of that space is a fun disco ball that hangs above. We love having movie nights and watching TV in our little kitchen and living room area. One of our favorite parts of that area is the matching retro microwave and mini fridge.
We also wanted to find a way to keep the room looking clutter-free. A lot of our decorations also function as some kind of storage, and we have found a way to take away many of the items we use on a daily basis so that they are still easily accessible, such as the storage bins underneath the futon, the space behind our dressers, and the bin behind our microwave for dirty dishes.
We've loved living here and are so happy that you voted for our room to be the 2021 Room of the Year.
Hi, my name is Jean.
And I'm Faith. We are both freshmen, and we were lucky enough to get the opportunity to live in Reed Hall this year.
A little backstory on the both of us is that we have been best friends since kindergarten. Once receiving our acceptance letters to UGA, there was no question that we would dorm together.
When choosing colors, we decided that we did not want to go with the average red and black, but something more out of the box. That led us to more of the burnt orange and sage green route. In the beginning, we had both chose the opposite color to what we have now, but I think it worked out best for the both of us.
As you can tell, we keep the color coordination specific on both sides of the room. Faith with more of the burnt orange colors all the way from her decor pillow to her painting.
And Jean with the sage green from her macrame coaster to her hanging vines.
As you can tell, we chose to go with a more earthy vibe for our room. The vines that hang across the back wall definitely tie that all together.
Some of my favorite parts of our room include our small plants that we are actively trying to grow on our windowsill, as well as the numerous places we were able to hang records. As most people ask, no, we unfortunately don't know any of the artists on the records, and we don't have a record player, but we love them as decor. We were also thankfully given a room that had our own bathroom, sink, and small entranceway.
Some of my favorite parts of our room include our hanging clouds beside the door that magnetically hold up our keys. I also love the record collages that Faith just so happened to make us and some of our high school friends as moving gifts. Our futon and TV were definitely a great asset to the room. Whether the futon is comfortable or not, our room has become the hangout room for our friends in the hall. Almost every night we seem to have people over doing anything from homework to watching Grey's Anatomy.
Overall, we love Reed Hall and the friends we have been able to make because of it.
Thank you so very much for the opportunity to be a finalist in the 2021 Room of the Year competition.
Hi, my name is Sydnee. I'm a freshman. I live in a single in building 1516, and this is my room. I started thinking of dorm decor as soon as I got my first acceptance letter. I knew I wanted my room to be cozy and to feel like home, so I had to have my gray couch. Just to have somewhere to lounge and unwind. For the color scheme, I wanted something mature, but still really fun and bright. That's why I decided on black and white with hints of pink and gold. My gold wall is one of my favorite details in the room because it really makes the space my own. And I wouldn't be me if I didn't have green, so I added some plants and a little pop of green to add some breakup and freshness to the room. I also added some crates to my wall for extra storage and a second wardrobe because I may or may not have too many clothes. And my coffee table is a chest that doubles as my shoe storage. Thanks for visiting my room, and a special thank you to everyone who voted for me.
Hi, my name is Sasha.
And my name is Ansley.
And we are both freshmen living in Church Hall. When we started talking about what we wanted our dorm to be like, we both decided that we wanted it to have a cozy vibe and to really feel like home. A lot of our furniture and lamps are thrifted, and we opted for a neutral scheme with pops of color throughout the room. Overall, we really wanted the room to feel cohesive and personal. One of my favorite things in our dorm is my record player that I brought from home. We like to listen to records in the morning when we are getting ready for class or in the evenings to relax at the end of the day. Our friends come over all the time just to listen to a new album. Also, I love the cool posters we have decorated throughout the dorm that came with some of our records.
Yeah, and I wanted my side of the room to feel like home as well, and I brought some of my old houseplants and old vintage photographs to help decorate. I brought my collection of Polaroids and lined them against the shelving on top of the wall, and I also decorated my desk with some old 1960s photographs my grandmother took. The rocking chair in the room is my aunt's old rocking chair, and it goes along with our 4 pillows so guests could have another place to sit perfectly. We have really enjoyed living in our dorm, and we love how we can bring people together. Thank you so much for virtually visiting our dorm here in Church Hall, and thank you so much for voting us in the 2021 Room of the Year competition.
Hey, my name is Ella.
And my name is Evie. We are both freshmen, and we are living in Brumby Hall. When we started talking about how we wanted our room to look, we picked a few colors and decided to do our look based off of those.
My favorite part of the room is the back table, which is our coffee bar, and I love it because it's a great way to use the space around the air unit, but I also love it because my dad and I built it together before I left for school, so it has sweet memories with it.
My favorite part of the room is probably the chairs underneath our beds. After a long day, Ella and I will sit in our chairs to catch up and talk about our day. So many sweet conversations have happened in those chairs, so they hold a really special place in my heart.
Another part of our room that I absolutely love is the art hanging above the windows and the piece of art hanging next to my bed. My mom is an artist and did those pieces specifically for Evie and I's room once we had picked our colors.
So far, we have absolutely loved living in Brumby and wouldn't trade it for the world. Thank you for visiting our room virtually and for voting for us in the 2021 Room of the Year. As always, go Dogs!
Hi, my name is Mia, and I'm a freshman living in Myers Hall, and this is my room. I really like the colors blue and gray because they're very calming colors, and overall, I wanted a bit of a muted look to my room to keep it chill and as unstressful as possible. A lot of the stuff you see in this room is from Target or Bed Bath & Beyond, but the matching retro fridge and microwave are from Amazon, and I love the accent that they give to the room. I hung up some fairy lights under my lofted bed and above this Walmart futon to give it a nice aesthetic, and I like to sit here to work or to watch TV. These fuzzy rugs are all from Lowe's, which I think make the room feel a lot more inviting. I have a pantry and storage area full of Target baskets to keep everything organized. I've decorated a little bit for the fall season in here, and while you can see my curtains open right now in this video, I usually keep them shut since I like sleeping in the complete darkness. So these blackout curtains are also from Bed Bath & Beyond. Can't recommend them enough. And I use command hooks to hang those up and for a lot of things in the room. And I love how nice they make it look. You can see some of that in that fun little foyer area, where I also have a little storage ottoman, a shoe rack, and a plant shelf. Walking in that front door and seeing this room makes me feel so cozy and at home. Thank you for watching, and thank you for voting me in the 2021 Room of the Year competition.
Hi, my name is Margo, and I'm one of the creators for dorm number 10. My roommate and I live in Russell, and because of that, our dorm is pretty small. It's definitely on the smaller side. It's very much just a rectangle. So going in, I wanted to embrace that space and make kind of like a cluttered, cozy, cottagey vibe for the room. So my favorite color is green, and when I think of green, I think of forests and leaves and mushrooms and naturey things. So that's kind of what I embraced for my side. I knew I really wanted my bed to be like a statement because it's so big, and I wanted it to feel really cozy when I was in it, and I wanted it to almost give the illusion of like privacy as well as have some separation with the rest of the room. So I went for ivy framing the side of the bed and the ceiling and really cluttering up the wall with book pages and antique postcards I found, that type of thing. I really like how it turned out. So I wouldn't have too much green. I have pink comforters and stuff, which matches Rebecca's side of the room. So Rebecca's favorite color is blue. Rebecca didn't really come with much decoration and liked how my side felt, so we decided to try to mimic it in her own style. So when I think of blue, I think of skies and oceans, so we tried to mimic rainfall. Rebecca and I went to the craft store and picked up these plastic chandelier crystals and spent hours just stringing them on fishing line, so they look almost like they're floating, and that is how we kind of differentiated her space from the rest of the space and added the same kind of feeling of like being enclosed. Above her bed, we have like a tool canopy, and we're still working on above her desk, where we continued the canopy and we made tool clouds and origami whales, and we plan to even add more to that. But yes, our biggest inspiration really came from our favorite colors, and from there it kind of grew to what they represent, and we really like how they complement each other. My favorite part of the room, though, would probably be the window, just because it is huge and it lets in so much light. We have a really nice view, and I really like the big windowsill. I think it's really pretty, and I like that I can put so many weird decor items on and they don't clutter up my desk. Thank you so much for voting for us, and I'm super excited to see everyone else's room.